Hey, what's up? I am Randilyn Bise, and this is my Civics engagement project. So I chose 3 activities that I thought were the most interesting to me. The first activity that I did was give blood. This seemed really interesting to me because I've never given blood before, and I believe that giving blood is extremely important because it can save up to 3 people's lives. The second activity that I did was a ride-along. I went with a police officer named David. I knew David from church, so it was really easy to set up an appointment with him without all the hassle. And I think that ride-alongs are really interesting and really cool and really important because you're able to see what officers deal with on a day-to-day basis. You're able to see how they help their community and help their people. The third activity that I did was go to a court case. Now, I chose this one because I didn't really know what happened inside of a courthouse or how it all worked. I've seen TV shows and I've seen what those are like, but I wanted to see if they were a little less dramatic. I think that being able to watch a court case is really beneficial. Because it shows you what is happening in your community and what trials and tribulations are happening. So out of the 3 activities, the first one I'm doing today is the blood donation. So it's supposed to take about 15 minutes, and apparently blood goes to 3 different people and it helps save 3 different lives. So let's go do it. So just got done donating blood, and I thought that process was going to be a lot more complicated than it was. I walked right in, they took my ID, they gave me a survey, and I was seen within 10 minutes, and I think it took about another 10 minutes for my blood to be drawn completely. And they were taking care of me. They put ice packs on the back and front of my chest because they knew it was my first time, and they gave me juice. They gave me food, they gave me Doritos. It's pretty good. They also banded my arm up. But for the community, yeah, they told me that donating blood saves about 3 lives, and it gets separated until like your blood gets separated into thirds, so each goes to a different person, and I thought that was amazing. And it made me really want to donate more. So they told me about every 8 weeks after you donate, you're allowed to sign up and donate again. So another 8 weeks, doing it again. Here, David was showing me different places and things around the office. He was showing me all the officers who were honored, the lounging area, where they keep all the keys to their cars, the detaining room, and where they run DUIs.
So we make sure there's no big bad, damage or anything like that. If there is, we look at this to see if maybe it was logged already, if there wasn't any damage logged. Then we log it and go notify a sergeant, just let them know. Still looking for damage, no damage. At least no big noticeable damage, it's probably not new. Punch in the vehicle, just kind of information. So there's 3750.7 miles.
I picked to do a ride-along in Seattle because that's where David works. Seattle wasn't really my community, but it was a community I was really interested about. I went riding with him in Seattle on a Friday night for 4 hours from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. There was a lot that happened, but at first it was slow. We drove around for a couple hours. We got coffee with his peers, and we went on a couple high-speed chases to find some guys that were stealing. But the last 15 minutes were the most interesting because we got a call about a man who was overdosing in a parking lot.
about the 200 block of that alley here.
Church 2 under control.
Rizzy is waiting on description.
The third activity that I did was go to a court case. Now, I chose this one because I didn't really know what happened inside of a courthouse or how it all worked. I've seen TV shows and I've seen what those are like, but I wanted to see if they were a little less dramatic. I think that being able to watch a court case is really beneficial because it shows you what is happening in your community and what trials and tribulations are happening.
So I went to the Kent Municipal Court to sit in on a court session. So after getting through security, I found the kiosks that had all of the information about the court cases and where they were located. It was super easy to navigate around the courthouse, which made it a little less stressful for me because it was the first time I had ever been into a courthouse. They also had the daily hours of operation posted, which I think helps out the community a lot.
In conclusion, not all the activities that I chose were based out of my community. However, they were based off of where I spend most of my life. I used to live in Kent, so going to the courthouse was very eye-opening to me. I didn't even know we had a courthouse in Kent Station, which shows you how very little I pay attention in my community, which is kind of sad. I gave blood in Covington because that's where I go to school. There just happened to be a mobile RV blood donation place that I used to see all the time, but finally ventured out and donated. I did my ride-along in Seattle because I used to go there almost every single weekend with my sister, and we used to explore. So being able to see and being able to participate in things in my communities I'm most familiar with were very eye-opening and very interesting to me. Overall, giving blood helped me impact my community, but everything else I did impacted me. I think that being able to see what exactly happens in a ride-along or nights in Seattle or even court cases, it really shows what happens under our noses and what kind of heavy responsibilities people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I don't think that enough people get recognized for it, which is a shame, but being able to open our eyes to what exactly is happening in our community today is a good start.